Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. I'm so excited. I can't hardly talk. Today, I've got actress Denise Crosby with me. So welcome, Denise.
Hello, my friend.
It's a big day for I'm nerdy.
Oh,
You can see I'm a
our,
I'm a Trek fan, and this is a good day for
well, I'll be gentle.
me. Oh, I appreciate that. Let me tell you, it took me years, well, maybe months. It took me a long time to recover when Tasha was killed. It was,
Oh,
and not just me. So that episode, we watched that. I was probably freshman in college, maybe around that time. So at that time, we would all just gather around, the TV set because we couldn't record anything at that time. We were poor, and so it was just either watch it when it was on or you missed it. And we had no idea. It just came out of nowhere.
wow. Yeah,
This
that
so
that was what we were hoping, you
and it
know.
worked. It was like the red wedding before the red
That's right. Oh my God, truly. Yeah, kill your darlings.
wedding. It was yeah, that was a to me, that was the episode that kind of solidified the next generation for me, because that was like, oh, this is a show. They're
Yeah.
but then you
Yeah.
weren't on it. So I didn't like it as much. But then you came back. You came back later.
No kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, my favorite episode of yesterday's Enterprise.
Oh, yeah,
That
mine too. What an episode.
Yeah, really good one. Really, really well written.
Yeah, yeah.
And a
So I'm jumping
surprise.
ahead. I'm jumping so far ahead. We got to talk Trek, but let's start from the beginning. What made you want to get into entertainment? Why did you become an actress?
Wow. I was going to college and I was really sort of not sure. Journalism was sort of my passion, and I had written for my school newspaper, and I really liked some of the news broadcasters, and I thought I would go into that field like a kind of Diane Sawyer, kind of covering hard investigative journalism. And one of the things I had to do was take a speech class, and it was sort of recommended I try out for the school play, that it would satisfy some of the credits that I needed, and it would be a cool thing to do on your resume and blah blah blah. So I thought, well, okay, whatever. So I tried out for the school play and got the part. So it started to I really loved the atmosphere and the camaraderie of the theater, of working
Yeah.
on this play together and doing this. And I was lucky enough to uh, land with some really fantastic and creative, inspiring teachers that just you know got me connected to what this could be for me. And it just it I just began to study and really commit to it, and get a couple. I went every Monday and Wednesday night for years to this theater
Yeah.
class.
That's pretty great. That's pretty. I mean, when you were in high school, did you do outside of theater and the journalism? Did you play sports? Were you in band? Anything like that?
Yeah, in high school, I was really athletic. I've always been a bit of
Yeah.
a tomboy, and I played on all the teams, whether it was softball, I played basketball, volleyball, I swam on swim team,
Very nice.
and yeah, all those kinds of things. That was really where my desire and passion was. Also with the school paper. I was in a singing group that was connected to this after school church program that I went to. Actually, Rita Wilson, Tom Hanks' wife, was in the
Really?
group with me. Yeah, it was called The Way Home, and we sang these kind of like Christian coffee house tunes, with acoustic guitar, and very, very hippy dippy. And so, yeah, those were sort of my things. But I didn't really, I wasn't too interested in acting in high school at that point. It was
Right.
later when I got to college and in my early
So
20s.
did you go to Hollywood High School?
I went part of my high school to Hollywood High School, and then I left in my uh, junior year and went to finish school at North Hollywood High School.
Very nice. Very nice. So when I go to LA, my wife works for Live Nation, so she's out there all the time. So I sneak out there with her sometimes. But we normally stay at the Roosevelt. So is that the high school that you can see from the Roosevelt?
Yeah, you can. I think the Roosevelt Hotel is on Hollywood Boulevard, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Hollywood High is on the corner of Highland and Sunset.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
it then. It has to be. Yeah, because when you look out, it depends on where you stay in the hotel.
yeah, yeah. So if you're high enough, yeah. And the
It's like
Roosevelt
right over the
Hotel,
track.
that's a great hotel. I have, has a very special meaning to me, that place, because when I was a little girl, there was a woman that would take care of me. She was really like a grandmother figure to
Yeah.
me. And because my actual grandmother lived in Dayton, Ohio. So, but this woman lived we first met her when we were living in the same apartment building. And she was the switchboard operator at the Roosevelt Hotel in the days
Really?
when, remember, you plug in,
Yeah.
and you wear the headphones, and you'd call the operator, and she'd connect you
Yep.
to the room. So, but that was like her
Amazing.
real gig, and she would watch me, and I adored this woman, adored.
That's terrific. That's
Uh-huh.
terrific. You never think about that, but it really wasn't that long ago that's the way we were doing it with the
Yeah.
phones.
I mean, what we've seen in just our lifetime,
Yeah.
the rapid technology.
Amazing. It's amazing. So what was your first paying job acting wise?
My first, oh, I know. Okay, so do you remember the Blake Edwards film 10?
Yes, I was going to ask you because now at that time, when I saw it, it was on HBO and I had to sneak to see it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But I was pretty sure you had something in that.
So 10 was, it was a pretty racy film in some parts.
Yes.
There was some nudity and everything. So in order to have the film be screened in countries and on airplanes with a much stricter code,
Right.
Blake Edwards had to go back and do reshoots. So he had to take all the girls that were, topless or whatever out and reshoot those scenes with, girls covered in bathing suits. So I am in the sort of edited version of 10. I played this character. I don't know if you remember, but Dudley Moore has a relationship, or across the canyon lives his neighbor, played by Don Calfa, and Dudley is always spying on him because he's always having these parties with wild girls, and so I play his girlfriend Rapunzel, which is hysterical that I would be named Rapunzel with my short little boy's haircut. And I'm just running around, like a free spirit in a bikini. And I got my my Screen Actors Guild card from that film.
Amazing. I had no idea that they actually used to do reshoots just so they could show the movie in certain places.
Yeah, that was back then in the 80s, the early 80s. I'm not sure what the rating codes are, if it's more uniform now, and because it almost seems like you couldn't with budgets. I don't know how you could get away with that, to go back and do reshoots.
There's no way.
I know.
Of course, now 10 would not be nearly as racy.
Exactly. So maybe it's not even, it might have a much wider,
Yeah.
parameters they're dealing with now.
Well, but they do now. If you're on a plane, they do edit still,
Yeah.
because you'll watch movies, and if they have an R rating, it's normally edited.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm curious how that works. Or yeah, they're able to edit certain things out,
Yeah.
as when they deliver it, and
The behind the scenes stuff is kind of fascinating for me. I think that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I thought you had a connection to 10, but that's what I was going to ask you. I was like, well, where were you in it? Because I don't remember, but I
well,
probably saw the unedited version.
yeah, exactly. And also that my connection to 10 is Blake's son, Jeffrey Edwards, was my husband. I was married to him. So
Really?
yeah, so Blake was my father-in-law.
Well, okay, so were you married before you got the role or after?
Um, no, we weren't married before I got the role, but Jeff and I were dating, and so Jeffrey said, you should meet my dad. He's uh, working, doing all kinds of stuff, and there might be a great part for you or something. He might be able to help you. And
Good.
I went to meet Blake in his office, and it's funny because this is how small an overlap and a small little world we're all in, really. Blake had directed my grandfather, Bing Crosby, in a
Yes.
film early in Blake's career. So,
Amazing.
it was, he was telling me all these stories about Bing, and he
You've
played.
got like you hear about Hollywood families, but legit, like everybody in your family is connected to Hollywood.
A lot of connections there, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And of course, Bing was so talented. Those were like his movies would be movies that I was allowed to stay up late to watch when I was
Oh yeah,
younger.
sure.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean,
That's a pretty good connection.
we just finished with the Christmas holidays, and that you just, he's everywhere,
Everywhere.
and actually, there's a lovely film out right now called Licorice Pizza that
Yes.
Paul Thomas Anderson did. I
Yeah.
don't know if you've seen it,
I haven't
but
seen it yet, but we want to watch that one.
it's lovely, and a great soundtrack. And there's a Bing song in the
Really?
soundtrack that I didn't. I was listening. My husband and I were listening. I was going, "Is that Bing?" Yeah, I didn't even. It sounded like it, but I thought, I'm not sure. And yeah, it
That
was.
was him. Who's the star in that movie?
So, one of the Haim sisters, one of the
Yep.
band Haim. I, for, I forget which one. And then Cooper Hoffman is the boy, and Cooper Hoffman
Yeah.
is the son of Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I've seen
they're
something I saw was somebody in that movie was getting interviewed. That's what piqued our
yeah,
interest
they're
in watching it.
both so good. And then there's all these people that do cameos. I mean, um, Bradley Cooper plays a really cool role.
Yeah. And I
And
think that's actually who we saw getting interviewed, and he was talking.
okay,
I think that's probably what it was.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It was delightful.
Yeah, that's terrific. That's terrific. I was thinking that 10 was maybe the first thing I had ever seen you in, but now I don't think that I actually got to see you in 10. But I did see you in, at least I'm pretty positive, now I'm questioning, but in a couple of the Pink Panther movies.
Yes, I did do a couple of the Pink Panthers. That's right.
Yeah.
Again, uh, oh God, I have a photo here. Look, here's something. I'll show you. I just happen to have it from the Pink Panther.
Amazing.
Right?
Yeah. That's
terrific.
terrific.
Fabulous actor Robert Loggia.
Yep.
And this was on
amazing.
This was in the south of France. Not a bad place to shoot a movie.
No.
And
no, if you got to, that's decent.
twist my arm, and that was really fun. You know, I played just this campy starlet who, you know, he's like the mafioso boss, and that was great fun. Again with Blake, and I think I think one of the earliest things I did too was 48 hours.
That was
That
the
film,
next one
Signal.
I was going to bring up.
Yeah,
So I was like, I
yeah.
know I saw you in that
Hmm.
as well. That was one I'm pretty sure we snuck into the theater to watch that. We did a lot of back then. We did a lot of sneaking to catch stuff.
You're a lawbreaker. You're a criminal. I remember I used to sneak in up to the movie theaters
Yeah.
at Hollywood Boulevard, and the one I remember seeing, we would try to go almost every day after school, was Fritz the Cat.
Fritz the
Okay.
Cat.
Yeah, we just thought that was like, oh my God, how is this happening? That dirty little cat, you know? We were we were like, you know, all of 15 or something,
Yeah,
14 years old, just with our, you know, sitting in the theater
that's big
hiding.
fun at that age.
Oh my God, so much fun. So much fun.
So I got my comeuppance, I guess, when we snuck to watch Dress to Kill. That was and that movie, you know, it's very artsy,
Hmm.
but it's also very violent in parts. You know, there's a shower scene
Right.
that starts out, and I'm with a group of, you know, preteen guys, which is so it was very exciting shower scene. But then she gets killed, and it was the most upsetting
Mm.
scene for all of
Mhm.
us. We still talk about that. You know, it's been 40
Wow.
years, and we still
Wow.
talk about how that scene caused us to have nightmares forever. That was probably the last time
Yeah,
we saw
it was.
it. We're like, okay, we're not. This is too
I
much.
remember that. Yeah, right. Isn't that funny? That's how I felt with like American Horror Story. I
Oh,
watched, you know, a couple of the first seasons, and I thought it was amazing.
yeah.
And then it just got it was too much.
It
It
was too
was too much.
much. I did the same thing. I like the first few seasons. I hung in there. I really liked it, and then it just kept getting weirder and harder to, you know, to watch.
To
I
take.
couldn't do it.
Oh God. And I'm no, I'm the only one in my family that will watch anything remotely like that. So I'm always alone watching it. So it's like terrifying. Terrifying. I went,
Yeah,
nope, not doing it. Not
yeah,
doing it.
yeah. I couldn't even tell you where it lost me. I know I saw the first couple of seasons, but somewhere
Yeah.
after that, it was
Somewhere.
just
Yeah. Like Hotel was really good. The one they did
yeah,
in the
yeah,
hotel
yeah.
was fabulous. And
That may have been the last one I saw. Yes,
yeah, I may have seen one after that, and it was just, nah, I can't do this
yeah. It
anymore.
went on for a while.
I think it's still on.
Is
I'm
it
not
still
kidding.
on?
I really do. I think they took a break, but I think I think they did two at the same time. So there, I know it's out there somewhere, but I'm too afraid to have a
Yeah.
look anymore.
As I get older, I've learned that I don't, you know, like when I was younger, I like the twists and for things not to always end well. You know,
Yeah,
that was kind of exciting. Now I just want a happy ending, whatever I'm
yeah,
watching.
I know. Especially in you know, with all that's going on in the world, and you
Yeah.
know how much can we take?
Yeah. We've had enough.
Yeah, yeah,
What
really.
did you use your time from last year when we were all quarantined? What'd you do during that time?
You know, it's interesting because I got back to my writing class. I do a writing
Nice.
class on Zoom. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's going to start on Thursday again, my new semester, so to speak. So that was really great because it allowed me to recommit to that, and I got a piece published in an anthology, my first written
Nice.
published piece. So, and it's called Side Eyed on
Very nice.
of writers who whatever we were writing um, during 2020, and it doesn't have to be about the pandemic, but it's just what you were writing during the pandemic. So my piece doesn't have
Love it.
anything to do about the pandemic, but it's, you know, it's where my head was at
Yeah,
during the
that's a great
pandemic.
idea.
It is, yeah. It really is a lovely piece. I mean, a beautiful collection of all kinds of prose and poems. Um, so that was going on, but I also my theater company, Ensemble Studio Theater, we did a 6-part uh, play called In Search of a Pig, Pig,
Did you do it by
and
Zoom?
we did it all.
Love it. Oh, looks like Denise is frozen up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we lost you right there at the end. So I
Okay.
asked if you had done it by Zoom.
Yes. So we each filmed in our places with a green screen kit,
Nice.
and if recorded on Zoom, and uh, recorded sound on this OS Ninja device. I mean, I was like the first episode, like nervous breakdowns. It was insane. Um, I think, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to move. I'm going to see if in my house has a better internet connection. I'm in my office.
Okay.
Let's see if
All
I
right.
can do this.
Everybody hang on. I'm going to hit pause again, but
Hey,
we'll be right back.
get to walk in the garden with me.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, and we're back in a new location.
Same property, new location.
That's right. It's like magic.
Absolutely. Crazy.
So we have to talk Trek, but I wanted to throw a few out there, that roles that you had that I really liked over the years. So the one that I don't think you get enough love for was Southland. Really liked you on that.
Thank you so much. I love that one. Yeah,
That's such a good show, or
really
was such
good.
a good show.
And an incredible show to be part of and work on. It was just uh, everything about it. The way they went about it, the way they developed the characters and let you move about as an actor was very freeing and liberating. And you know, just the level of talent was amazing.
It looking back, the talent is much bigger now even than it was then. You know, a lot of those actors have went on to bigger and better things.
Absolutely. You know, look at Regina. I mean, God.
Yeah, you forget that she was wonderful on there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Yeah,
that was a great one. I love that one. Yeah, and you know, it was my first collaboration with the creator and oh my God, I'm jamming my head here. Oh my God, she created the show.
Would like to help
And
you.
Bitterman.
Yes.
Yeah. So you know, which she went on to do Ray Donovan.
Yeah. I'm assuming I didn't make that connection, but that I'm assuming that's why you ended up on that show as well. You had a nice run on that show.
Yeah, that was fun. Really fun.
Yeah.
Real great fun.
There's a movie out now.
I know. I haven't seen it.
Me neither. I didn't realize it was out, but now that I do, I will be.
Yeah, I've got to check it out and see what where they go with this.
I have a feeling it's not going to end well for John.
No, no, I don't know about Liev either. I think Ray might have his, you know, comeuppance.
It may be, it may not be good for either one of them.
No. Oh well. Crime doesn't pay.
Crime doesn't pay. So my son, who does the podcast with me, he just does everything behind the scenes. He said to make sure to mention that he remembers you on Walking Dead.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yes. Oh man, Walking Dead. That thing is a juggernaut.
Wow.
You know, who knew?
Yeah. Who knew? It just keeps getting bigger. I know it's kind of winding down now, but it had spinoffs. The comic went on forever.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know.
They're fabulous people again to work with, and Greg Nicotero, who is one of the exec producers on The Walking Dead, he is doing Creep Show.
Right. You didn't you appear on Creep Show?
I did a Creep Show, yeah. So that was right when the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
They were like some of the first people to get up and running in Atlanta. You
Yeah,
know.
we that was one of our shows that we
Oh,
watched during
oh yeah.
the nonsense when we were locked in.
Right. All the binge TV.
That's right. But yeah, I thought that's so neat that those connections that you're making through the years are still paying off. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's great when that happens, when you work with people, or they think enough of you that they want to work with you again in their new series or show that they're doing.
Yeah.
I think there's a guy, John McNamara, who created and was like the showrunner on The Magicians. And
Right.
I mean, I've done probably 3 shows with him over the
Really.
years. Yeah, he just keeps having me back, which is great, and
That's
they're
terrific.
3 very different kinds of shows. So it's fun when that
I was
happens.
hoping we would see you on the remake of Pet Cemetery.
Oh
I like the
yeah.
cameos.
I think what happens is people it's either or, either
Yeah.
they want to have the original people kind of
Yeah.
around, or they want to really distance themselves
I
from
think you're
it,
right. I
you
think you're
know?
right.
Yeah. So,
The the former is better. Just as a fan, we like the callbacks.
oh yeah. That was great. I love Pet Cemetery.
So it's okay. So let's talk Next Generation. So tell me about what that was like, because this was the show after the original. So first talk about how you got the role, and did you realize, or when did you realize that okay, this show had some legs, it was going to be around for a while?
So I was working on an indie film called Miracle Mile when
Yeah.
I got the script for, no, I didn't get a script. I got, a scene for
Okay.
to audition with for um they my agent said they're doing a reboot of Star Trek for syndication. It's going to be first run syndication. And I thought,
Yeah.
mm,
That doesn't
I'm not
sound good.
sure, but that doesn't sound good. I mean, Star Trek, why don't they do something original? Why do they keep going back to this stuff? And I remember reading the scene. Now, remember, the first time I was being seen as Counselor Troy.
Right. Yeah, I'd
Uh,
read that. That's
yeah,
exactly right.
so
Yeah.
so I had, the scene of Deanna Troy, and she was a Beta Z, and I said, well, what is a Beta Z? I mean, we had to like fill in the blanks because they
Yeah.
wouldn't give us a script. I mean, now it's pretty common practice. You sign a non-disclosure.
Right.
Um, and oftentimes, like with The Walking Dead, they wrote a scene for me that had absolutely nothing to do with the show, just for me to audition with. It,
Very
it
nice.
had nothing. It had nothing to do with zombies. It had nothing to do with those characters. It was
That's
just,
interesting. Well,
I
then it doesn't
know.
give anything away.
Exactly. They're so protective that they don't want anything out in the world that they can't control or that will leak.
Yeah.
So I mean, Star Trek was way ahead of its time in that. I had never seen that. They said we can't give you a script, we can only give you this. So it was a process of going in. I think I auditioned maybe 5 times. Maybe around the third time they switched Marina and I. Gene Roddenberry liked both of us very much, but he said, "God, I'm rethinking this. Maybe why don't you read Tasha and you read Troy?" And that's what it ended up being.
So I think that's so interesting. Don't you think, with all the the different versions that we've had. Somewhere in there, they could have done an alternate universe where all of the people who were originally thought for roles could have played that character just for an episode. So you could have been Troy for an episode.
Yeah.
I think that would have been neat.
Very cool. Somebody showed me recently a list of who was being considered for the part, and it was really interesting. Like, these I couldn't even tell you any of the characters anymore, but I mean, some well-known actors were being considered for these parts, and who it ended up being. It's funny.
Yeah, I think that's always really interesting. Like, you always hear Tom Selleck for Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And ended up being Harrison Ford, stuff like that. I think that's always kind of neat to look back and think, what if? And you never know, would the show have worked if it had been different actors?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know. So what was it like what, because this was all, I mean, it was the 80s. So there was not a ton of technology back then. We got the Next Generation on a new channel that showed up, Fox 11. It'd only been out for a year or two. And the signal was so strong in our area that everybody was mirrored. They were doubled with that. And we still watched it back then because it's the only way we could see it.
Wow.
But what was the reaction like, when Tasha gets killed? What kind of fan reaction did you receive? Because it was different. There was no internet back then.
Right. I got a lot of fan mail, but at a certain point, I had to sort of stop reading it because a lot of it was women, girls, threatening that they couldn't go on if this character didn't survive.
It's awful.
And it was very much
upsetting.
Yeah, very upsetting. Very, very, traumatic and certainly nothing I could control, and they couldn't understand. Sometimes people have trouble separating, decisions and reasons for doing things. Then I wasn't really Tasha Yar, so it was but I think the overall reaction was just stunned. People couldn't, some people stopped watching the show. Some people were irate. Some, now it's 35 years later or something, and people can kind of, when I go to conventions and stuff, they'll just express the shock and the pain of one of their beloved characters going. And so it's like no one's ever come up to me at a con and just going, "You bitch, what are you thinking?" Can you imagine? It's my greatest fear, I think.
I don't know. I think if it were me, I might just roll with that. Be like, "That's right.
That's right. Get out of here. I can beat your
Well,
ass."
she was such a strong female character, and there wasn't a ton of those on TV at the time.
Right.
I could see how people would get attached.
Oh, absolutely. And much to the show's credit, they allowed me to to be who I was on that, to look the way I did, and to not have to change that. They didn't want me to just suddenly put long curly hair on and big boobs or whatever. I mean, they didn't try to force that to happen.
That's right.
And
go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that women, there have been, over the years, many women have come to me and said, finally we identified with someone on television.
Yeah, and if it's part of the greatness, I think, of Trek is that it broke boundaries. Every show kind of helped pave the way for better things to come.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw a lot of that, and it took a long time. There was a long time before you saw those type of strong female characters appear regularly on TV.
Right.
Yeah. I was going to ask, do you have a favorite Tasha Yar story? You said Yesterday's Enterprise was kind of and I guess that was kind of a Tasha story. But
Yeah.
before that, in that first season, do you have a favorite episode?
Well, I mean, I think that the pilot, episode Encounter at Farpoint always sort of stands out to me because we were all so fresh and new, and this was we didn't we were bonding together and wearing this, walking around in these uniforms. It because it was the first, so it's very special that way. Um, but certainly, yeah, Yesterday's Enterprise would be my favorite acting.
That's one of the best episodes of the show. I mean, that was an amazing episode.
Thanks. Yeah.
I'd always heard that it was at least partially your idea to come back on the show. Is that true?
It was my idea to create the character of Sela.
Okay.
Daughter.
Yeah.
But no, when the episode Yesterday's Enterprise came around, that was completely surprising. I thought, what? How is that possible? And the producer said, just read the script, let us know if this is something you can do. And I read it and just said, oh my God, this is fantastic. Of course I'll do it. And that opened the door for Sela, the possibility of Sela in my mind.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That was a good idea that you had, because she was terrific. Sela was great.
Oh yeah, I loved Sela. She was, just a badass.
Yeah, she was. I know. It's like all the characters that you played on the show, all of them are badasses, and they're all Yars, I guess. So it makes sense,
right?
I see that you did like a little fan film and got to play another Yar?
Yes, the grandma Yar.
Oh, it was more prequel.
Yes.
To Next Generation. So yes. An ancestor.
Yeah, one of the original writers, David Gerald, who wrote The Trouble with Tribbles, he wrote that fan film, and he approached me if I would come and do it. And at first I went, God, it's kind of meta, here I'm now, doing with the fans, but they were tremendous. They had built this entire replica of the original bridge, and it is.
Isn't that neat that no other property has fan films, and Trek has had a lot of them, and there's a lot of really good ones out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they've done all kinds of stuff, with it, and I know it's, and then it appears, it appears in other stuff. What was I watching? Oh, yesterday. So I started watching this series. I don't know if you've seen it, Station 11.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Really good.
Yeah, so what? Yeah, there one of the characters was in some place, and they're watching Star Trek. You hear, I'm going, that's funny. Yeah. Here I am watching them watching Star Trek.
Yeah, it's kind of pop culture.
Yeah. Oh, for real.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So I know you've done a ton of conventions. Are you still close with some of the cast?
Oh yeah, we're bonded in just by the sheer, presence in this kind of franchise. It's so much bigger than us, and we always delight in seeing each other at these shows, or like on the cruise ship, and we'll catch up, we'll have dinners, we'll catch up with what the kids are doing. Well, they're now all adults, but and yeah, we haven't, obviously because of COVID, it's just, they're just starting to test the waters again. I think I've done 2 in the last couple of years. Like I said, the cruise ship is still scheduled, and uh, actually this weekend I'm supposed to go to Orlando for a con. So,
Really?
hmm
Nice. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm so happy that those are coming back. So when I was in college, I owned comic book stores.
Oh,
So
cool.
so back then I'd do conventions every weekend. I was going somewhere for a convention, but it was, it was different back then. It was just comic book people.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
was no celebrities, no cosplay, not a lot of women. It was mostly just guys at that time. And it's grown so much. It's so much better now, so more inclusive. And
yeah.
and so my son and I will cover the conventions. We'll do the kind of press thing, cover the conventions, but we haven't got to do one in like a year.
Yeah, nobody could really get it, risk being indoors like
No.
that. And, but the couple I've done, they've done some really good things, with plexiglass up in front of us. And, obviously there's no
Yeah.
hugging, and I can't do selfies, with people right now.
No, it's
And
a little disappointing, but hopefully eventually that comes back.
yeah, hopefully we'll just figure out how to live with this thing, I think
Well,
that's,
we're gonna have to. I don't
yeah,
think it's going anywhere.
no, no, I don't think so.
So
It's
so the cruises, Star Trek cruises, is there something that happened on a cruise that you're like that was the best thing ever?
Wow. Well, I mean, I told you about the little improv thing I do. Um,
Yes.
um, so how that came about was by sheer accident. Um, I was, we were out at sea, and I was brought in to introduce a screening of um, an episode from the original series
Okay.
that happened to have the same name as an episode of The Next Generation. Now, I can't remember what the title was, but okay. So I'm talking, and the episode starts, and it's got no sound. Something's happening with, and the videographer is going, oh my God, oh my God. And he's trying to work on the sound. So I'm sort of hoofing it,
Yeah.
handing it up for the audience, killing time while they fix the sound. And I said, are you sure it's this episode? Like, why wouldn't it be the one of the next gen? The audience was going, I think you have the wrong episode, the wrong episode. So now the guy is really in a panic. He's trying to, upload the next gen's version, and it gets crazy. They can't find it. They try to put on the other one and of the original, and it's taking forever and still no sound. And I just grab a mic and I start improvising. And they went crazy. They loved it. I did like 15 minutes till finally the sound came on, and they gave me this huge round of applause. Now, the next day, we were supposed to land in a port in one of the islands in the Caribbean, but the weather for it was like too choppy or too windy, so we couldn't land. So nothing was planned, because everybody was going to leave the ship
That's
and
right.
go,
They were supposed to be
hang out
gone.
in San Juan or something. And so the director comes to all the actors and says, oh my God, listen, we're going to be at sea and we've got nothing planned. Do you want to do anything? Do you have anything? And I said, you know what? Let's do an entire episode like that. And they said, and I improvised the entire episode alone.
Nobody else wanted to do it?
I didn't even think to ask anyone. I mean, I went at like an hour straight
Oh my
talking,
gosh.
just making stuff up. And
That's hilarious.
it was hilarious. It was so well received that now it's a thing. Now it's a thing. And now I'm smart enough to ask people like,
That's right.
Robert Picardo and Ethan Phillips and, Mary Chifo and people to jump in with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And cover, bear
Well,
some
you
of the
got
brunt.
good ones.
Yeah, they're good.
They're
They're
very
all
good at
really good.
improvising and
They
very
make me
funny.
look good. They make me
Yeah.
look good.
Yeah,
Believe
that's
me.
pretty. You need to do a YouTube channel. I would subscribe to that.
Oh my God. Me doing every single episode like
Yes.
that? Not a bad idea.
No, I think it's really good.
Have like Mary come in and Bob and
Yeah.
everybody. We could do it.
Yeah, we Bob was on, on the show, and he's got a YouTube channel that is hilarious.
Yeah,
he's always dressing up and
I
just
know.
all kinds
He was
of
telling me
nonsense.
we did a charity thing over the weekend on Zoom that John Billingsley is really involved in, the Hollywood Food Coalition.
Yeah.
So he did a whole Star Trek, day of all these panels. And
That's
Picardo
terrific.
was on my panel, and he was saying he plays like the world's oldest gigolo is picking up like the oldest prostitute, and he plays both parts. Only Bob.
Hilarious.
I know, right?
I know. I don't know where he comes up with that stuff.
So funny.
I had the just real quick. So when Bob Picardo came on, he was like on camera eating apple pie, drinking espresso. So that was the whole interview. He was eating, which was hilarious. And when John came on, he never wanted to leave. Like, I think he literally would have talked all night long.
Oh my God.
And I was willing. I told him, I was like, well, I'm willing, but I don't know that anybody's going to watch.
Just over and over.
Yeah,
and
it was a long interview, but
Wow.
and his stamina was definitely better than
mine. Oh God, yeah. I know.
Well, and okay, I'll complete the Doctor trilogy that we had. So we had Alexander came on, and with Bob and John, they had this friendly rivalry over who was the more popular Doctor.
Oh my God.
So I thought, okay, I'm gonna get Alexander in on this, and we're going to Sid. He said to call him Sid, so we're gonna get Sid in on this, and so I brought that up to him. I was like, do you want to, you want to trash talk a little bit and tell him that? Well, he wouldn't have any of it. He's like, you know what? He's like, they're both so great, and they were definitely better than me. And everything. I was like, I don't think you get what trash talk means.
It's that British gentleman,
Oh, he's so polite.
I know.
And of course, he did the interview. He's in a suit. He was drinking tea. It's just very, very professional.
Oh my God. Unlike me, who came out from a dog hike.
Well, I'm just in my T-shirt. It's Zoom.
This was my son.
Supposed to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. That's the one thing I think Zoom gave us, is permission to just be comfortable.
Right.
You didn't have to, everybody's working from home. You don't have to dress up. And of course, some people took the casualness too far.
Yeah. Just maybe brush your teeth,
Yeah. Put pants on in case you stand up, that type of thing,
Don't do a Jeffrey Tubin.
That's right.
Oh God.
Well, Denise, thank you so much. This has been terrific. Just a highlight for me. I was so excited to have you on. I've been such a fan of yours for forever. I just feel like I've been watching you most of my life, and we're pretty close to the same age. We're not too far apart.
God.
So
it's
been pretty
now
great.
I'm a fan of yours.
Oh, thank you so much I almost teared up.
Oh.
Don't make me cry on camera. People will tease me.
You're a delight. Well, it's been a pleasure, and stay healthy and safe, and call me anytime. We'll do it again.
Oh, we have to do it again. We may need to do a Trek episode.
Oh,
yeah.
With me babbling on.
Yeah. I'll play somebody. I'll be terrible at it, but I'll.
Oh, the worse you are, the better it is. Believe me.
Perfect. It's going to be hilarious.
All of us. Oh my God. Well, that would be hysterical.
Yeah,
let me get through the cruise ship first.
Oh yeah. You got to let me know how that goes.
I will. I promise.
Yeah. So a couple quick things before you go. Is there anything that you have coming that we can kind of keep an eye out for?
Well, I'm doing a possible recurring part on NCIS, where I'm playing the Secretary of the Navy.
Yes, I saw that. Weren't you on another NCIS a few years back?
I was NCIS LA.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah.
But it was a different character.
Different character. Yeah. Different group.
Yeah. So
So
Secretary of the Navy, very
Secretary
fancy.
of the Navy, back in my, my element, because,
Yeah, that's right.
Star Trek is all kind of
Yeah.
predicated
Oh
on
yeah.
Navy. Um, so that's kind of what's going on now.
Very nice.
Again, yeah, I'm just, looking at stuff. Work is finally getting back up to
Yeah.
speed, and doing my writing, continue writing. I'm gonna do a reading on the cruise ship for the first time of some of my writing. So
That's
I got,
exciting.
yeah,
Is that, are you more nervous for that than you would be acting?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
It's a
would be
little.
too.
I mean, it's revealing. It's personal.
Yeah.
It's you can't hide behind a
Right.
character or other people's words. It's so I'm going to literally test the waters. On this cruise
Love it.
ship here. So
I
it'll
love it.
be.
Do you have any, plans to try to write, like do script writing or try to, make
You
something
know,
into a show or something?
not I everything's open to me.
Yeah.
I don't say I don't want to close any doors, but it's not really what I'm doing with this kind of writing. It's more
Yeah.
memoir and
Oh,
and
nice.
stuff like that. Yeah, getting ready, to sit down and do that at some point for sure.
That's very exciting. I will read that book.
One
Okay.
sale, one
One
sale.
sale.
Hear that, Amazon? Hear that? One sale right here today, right now.
Guaranteed one sale.
There you go.
So last thing, Denise, before you go, where can we find you on social media?
Oh, okay. So wait a minute. I just lost you here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're coming
Oh,
in
hang
just
on. Let
fine.
me. That's weird.
Yeah. Can you
Um,
hear me?
yeah, I can. Oh, there. Okay. I don't.
Okay.
This iBook sometimes, like, Microsoft will say updates are available. They'll just say, no,
And
no, no,
block you
no.
out.
I,
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I don't want that. Um, anyway, okay. So I'm on Twitter at the Denise Crosby, and it's
Yeah.
verified. Has the
Oh,
little
very
picture.
nice.
Yeah. So come visit me.
Yeah. I'm jealous of that because that's not easy to get.
Well, I knew nothing about it, but this someone came to me and said you need to get verified because
Yeah.
there's all kinds of fake people will tweet as you.
I
And I
know. Do
went,
you ever go on and reply, like mess with them a little bit?
no, no. It's hard enough for me to do my own.
I would totally do
I know
that.
I should. I should.
Yeah. There's
Look
nobody
how flirty.
impersonating me out there
Yeah,
yet.
they will be. Now that you've said it, they will be.
Well, thank you, Denise. This is such an honor. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, sweetie. Anytime. You take care.
Okay.
I'll
You
see you
too.
soon.
Hold on 1 second. All right. So that was the amazing Denise Crosby. What an interview. I'm so excited to speak with her. Such a fan of hers. If you go to her IMDb page, there's so many things on there. There's no way we could have touched on all of them. I didn't even get to ask about the X-Files, Briscoe County Jr., some of those that I really enjoyed seeing her on, but she's just done too much. We'll have to bring her back. Hope you guys enjoyed that episode. So that's our 6th Star Trek alum that we have had on the show, and I'm hard pressed to think that there was a better one. Denise was amazing, so that was really terrific. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again this week. We definitely don't take that for granted. There's so much out there that you could be watching and listening to, and we're lucky enough that you spend a little bit of time with us each week. Thank you so much. If you haven't done so yet, we really could use the help with our YouTube channel, Meisterkhan Pod. Please give us a subscription. If you're okay with that, we would appreciate it. You can find all 320 or 30 episodes, audio and video, on our website, meisterkhan.com. There's a terrific blog from Brett. It's funny, it's geeky, it's well written. Denise was talking about her writing. Brett writes as well. It's not easy. He puts a lot of thought into it, and it's really well done. So definitely check that out. If we're doing anything in studio, if we're going to any conventions, if we're doing live interviews, all that will be on the website, meisterkhan.com. So check that out. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to Denise. Until next time. Bye, everybody.